Hi, Gene here with today's thought. And today, this issue will not be exactly an issue for the ages, but it's something I just felt that I had to comment on. Occasionally, I will refer to a certain Middle Eastern country, which is spelled like this, and which I have been pronouncing as Qatar. Now, I got I would say a criticism, but it was more of a mocking from a commenter. So I thought I would just fill everybody in, because I was wondering myself. I hear Qatar, all kinds of ways, and I went on the internet, I went on YouTube, and I asked simply, how do you pronounce this country? And I found a native Qatari to explain how it's pronounced. I'm going to show you a video in a second, and he will explain to you in his own words. But the problem is, there's a little problem for us Westerners, because there is no exact equivalent sound in the English language, or I believe in any Western language, to pronounce something the way that the people of Qatar pronounce the name of their country, as they have since they learned how to speak. It's very similar, a similar problem to, well, let's say if you're German, or if you see German, sometimes you'll see a letter, a U or an A with two dots above it, and that's an umlaut. And when you see something pronounced with that over it, it's, ooh, it's not ooh, and it's not, it's ooh, it's kind of, if you're not German, then you have to, just like a German has trouble with words that start with a W, like what, where, when, because they pronounce the W, written W, as a V. So what we call Volkswagen, for them, it's a Volkswagen, and it's so simpler. So that's one of the problems. But I looked it up, and they said now they're very forgiving, the Qatari people, and or Qataris, or whatever. That I don't know how the people call themselves, but the people. But they're very, very forgiving. If you say Qatar or Qatar, it's like it's similar to us saying Paris instead of Paris, which is how the French pronounce it, or Japanese they pronounce they would actually be Nipponese, and Japan is Nippon, but we pronounce it Japan. So they're very forgiving. But the way they pronounce it is, you're going to hear in a second, but it's basically, it seems to be there's an official pronunciation, which is a kind of, the accent is always on the first syllable, okay? So Qatar, something like that, where it's not a T and it's not a it's, you put your tongue a certain way behind your teeth, but they also, the locals, when they're in just normal conversation, they pronounce it like guitar, the instrument that you play, a guitar, but with the accent on the first syllable. So it's guitar, but it's not really a T. It's more like a guitar. Well, what the heck? Here is a guitar, Qatari explaining himself. I'm just showing you a little excerpt, the important part, so it's only a few seconds. The whole video is about 2.5 minutes, and I will, because he's a nice guy, interesting guy, you'll see, and I put the link in the description for the full video. So here it is.
The official pronunciation of my country is Qatar. 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 So go ahead and close your throat a little bit. Make sure you say ta instead of ta, and you get Qatar. And locally, we don't say Qatar. We actually replace the qaf with a G, so it becomes Qatar. So almost like guitar.
Excellent!
No, it's not a guitar. It's Qatar. Also officially, just to be clear, internationally, and I guess it's because maybe the British people moved over to our country, very early on. Yes, you can also say Qatar. That's why when you go on to Qatar Airways, they go and say
Qatar Airways.
Qatar Airways.
Qatar Airways.
Qatar. So everybody says different things. So we've heard now Qatar, gutter, Qatar, 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 What else did we hear?
Qatar.
Qatar. What is that? That's like an Australian go to Qatar. Look guys, at the end of the day, I really hope that you can pronounce Qatar as Qatar because that's hyper local and we'll appreciate it.
Okay, are we straight now? Guitar. That's how I pronounce it. That's what he said, how he usually pronounces it. I'm going to pronounce it that way. This video is here for further reference. Refer to it any way you want. It's maybe you have a valid criticism that I should say Qatar or Qatar. Because it's like same thing if I said Paris instead of Paris. But then there are other countries where you do pronounce it the way the natives pronounce it. So there we go. If I get too many complaints, then I'll just figure you're all ignoramuses, all right? And I'll say Qatar or Qatar, but for now it's Gither, okay? Gither, I'm working on the pronunciation, but that's basically it. And that's my thought for today. Thanks for stopping by. If you could subscribe, that would really be great. Share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it, especially people wondering how to pronounce Gither. And your comments are welcome below maybe I'll get a few below the description. But most of all, come back and see me again. Well, did I say it'd be great if you could subscribe? Most of all, come back and see me again. We'll love to see all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.